You're welcome back. This is Business Morning on Channels Television. We've been talking about the agriculture sector in relation to the World Food Day being marked by the Food and Agriculture Organization. Is a yearly event, and this year a number of events have been lined up to mark the World Food Day. And the theme of the World Food Day is family farming, feeding the world, caring for the earth. How much have we been able to feed the world, knowing that the level of hunger is still increasing, and there's been calls to help the poor and the needy in the global marketplace. And our guest on the show has been Abiodun Oladapo, a member of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industries Agriculture Group, and Alfred Uwereka. He is an agriculture expert. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much
for sticking with us on the program. Before we went on break, let me come to Abiodun. We're talking about the issue of harvest. And now this is the harvest season. And I know that a lot of challenges go with harvest. One, you have to think of where to store them. How do you move them to the market? That's where you're going to sell. So how do you think this period is like, or will be like, for our farmers?
Thank you for that. Let's look at, when you are even talking about storage, okay, the storage can take, several forms. Let's look at tomato, for example. There's no way you can now build any shallow, for tomato. Nigeria is this, second world producer of tomato, second to Egypt. When you look into the yield, you discover that even the yield is not even good enough, because when you look into the ratio, or you see that the Egypt ratio is about 7 to 1 for Nigeria. Yet, Nigeria still produce, and a lot of these post-harvest have to really go into waste. The next question is, on account of that, we are still importing. We are still importing. Per several, I think about 11 point something billion in a year is the amount of something that will go into foreign exchange to import tomato into this country. So it is issue of processing and packaging that we are talking about. Getting this into intermediate product that can now serve the industrial needs, so that other people want to really process for some other product can really go into a bit puree, bit paste, whatever you want to really name it about now. Look into, tomato purees that are important to this country, the amount is enormous, very enormous.
Now, despite the effort by our own companies to package these products,
they
still having a high level of importation.
Yes, the reason is very simple. Look into the industrialization of the country. A good number of the industry have moved away from here. Why? All the supporting, efforts are not there to really give them the leeway they require to be able to really perform. Example is electricity. Somebody have to be on generator, 24/7, 35 days in a year. How can it break even? Yet, so a lot of other not positive policies are in place also for him to contend with. Okay, look at the rice. If the amount of money allegedly claimed to have been spent to really encourage farmers to really produce rice are really gone to the right places, should we be having that kind of importation of rice into this country again? They said they ban it, but I think last week, they discover in Oyo State Custom Command, they discover, a very large catch of importation, smuggled, not importation, smuggled rice into the country. So if the rice that are being produced are competitive enough, we should be net exporter rather than importer. Because if the price that the imported rice coming here is not at an advantage over the locally produced one, there will not be this kind of smuggling.
Okay, let me hear from Alfred. What's your own view about the challenges of harvest?
Well, I take it from where he's just given. It's a full analogy of what really happens. But we find out there's what Nigerians call the taste factor. Nigerians are very good at imported products. I recall very well that we had some margarine we found in the market. They were like water, but it came from China. Nigerians just like to see an imported product. It's going to take some time to change the orientation. You recall, like you did say, people are beginning to appreciate what they call your father rice. Our father rice has been there, but because of the directive, deliberate policy framework to try and encourage people, Nigerians are beginning to scamper for father rice. It's going to take some time. The orientation has always been, like the government said some years back, the problem is not how to get the money, but how to spend it. So there's this avalanche of desire for importation. It will take some time for the rice amaga to clear. Nigerians will smuggle in anything. Smuggling is always a national thing. It's all over the world. But I think the region is required to see that the government policies should be tested out around operators. Most of the time, these things are said on paper. To implement, it takes a longer time. You look at the agri policy on funding. They've mentioned agri funding, but the banks are yet to drop to farmers. So some of these policies are hanging. They look so beautiful on paper. And by the time you are going to implement, the real farmers don't get it. So the issue of harvest, again, post-harvest comes with, do you have funds? Simple machinery that are being fabricated in this country. They don't come that cheap. Like it is a power. But once we meet those little angles of funds and technology being available, this country is so blessed. You go to all the farming zones in this country, food is in waste. Logistics, storage. You go to your simple markets in Lagos here. Also, you will find in the My 12 market, go and see their waste bin. The whole thing is all bundled up with foods that have arrived this place, and 2/5 of them is wasted.
Okay, I'm afraid that's all we can take from you. Thank you so much, Alfred. Alfred Uwereka, for your input. We do appreciate your time with us. Alfred is an agriculture expert, and Abiodun Ladapo is a member of the LCCI Agriculture Group. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program. You're very incisive, and we hope that we can always talk about it again and look at how we can help grow our agriculture sector and contribute to reducing hunger to the barest minimum globally. And that'll be it here on Business Morning. Many thanks to all of you out there for being able to join us to watch the program. We do appreciate your time with us. Thank you for watching. I am Bolaji Akinwale.